particular top light is on?
No.
You make the movement of the sliding door.
Again.
Or either log out and log in and enable your video. I'll start the session.
Yeah, we can start the session.
Okay. Okay. Can we start the session?
Yes.
Yeah. Friends, very warm welcome to each and every one of you who have joined from length and breadth of the country for this special webinar on NISM Social Auditor Certification Examination. This examination has been enabled by NSC Institute of Securities Markets. They have enabled this particular examination from 2 months back, and across length and breadth of the country, this examination has been a craze among professionals and also among the social people who are associated with the social enterprises. They are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, and even cost accountants. So all these professionals are welcome to clear an examination called SACE, Social Auditor Certification Exam. We have with us two eminent personalities. VV Sampath Kumar, a very senior chartered accountant. Thank you very much, Sampath ji, for accepting our invitation to be part of today's program. And also we have with us CA Krishna Kumar Raghavan, and myself and Krishna Kumar Raghavan, we have recently qualified this examination. We wish to bring before you some of the significant aspects of this examination, and I'll request Sampath ji to lead this session and moderator, so that all the participants who are connected across length and breadth, they are all benefited. And any queries you have, I'll request the participants to use the Q&A box to put your queries. We will handle those queries at the end of the session. Now over to Sampath ji.
Dr. Gopala Krishna Raju, Chartered Accountant Krishna Kumar Raghavan, and my dear participants, I'm very glad that these two professionals who just completed their SACE, Social Auditor Certification exam conducted by NISM very recently, wished to share their experiences and knowledge in this one for the benefit of our participants. Knowing the subject is one and sharing for the cause of the people and participants herein today is another great thing. With this overall, I would like to go into the topic directly. As you all aware, NISM, National Institute of Securities Market, conducts various certifications examinations relating to securities market. One such examination is the Social Auditors Certification Exam. Dr. Raju, I would like to know, who is a social auditor as per the particular examination content wise?
Good. Sir, thank you very much for this question. I think this is a very pertinent question to start with, because Social Auditor Certification Examination. Now, who is a social auditor to start with? I want to bring to your attention that all these years, non-profit organization, NGOs, or we generally call them as NGOs, and technically we call them as not-for-profit entities. Okay, so they don't work for profit. They are regulated from a tax perspective only. Now, beyond the tax perspective, so what is the way in which they will get the funds? Only by donations. But, I want to give you one number. Recently, the corporate social responsibility, 1,20,000 crores has been spent over a period of 5 years. Only 5 years, this much amount corporates have spent. And there is no audit for this number. And what is the impact it has created? And I wish to bring to your attention, Sampatji, that investment and getting a return in, I invest 100 rupees and get 10 rupees as return. So money, return in money terms. This is a business model. But I invest money, but I want social returns. What is social returns? The returns will be in the form of change brought to the society. Changes brought to the society. People are uneducated. By contributing, you bring change to the society. So by empowering the women, empowering the downtrodden, people who require medical support, you give medical care. Now, this is a place, the social auditor role is significant. There was a technical group that was formed by Securities and Exchange Board of India on 21st of September 2020. Go through this particular aspect under the chairmanship of Dr. Harsh Kumar Banwala. He was the ex-chairman of NABARD with 16 other members. This technical group report is the foundation for bringing Securities and Exchange Board of India ICDR regulation, meaning issue of capital and disclosure requirement regulation. This amendment came last year silently on 25th of July 2022. So there they have mentioned that a social auditor is an individual. I repeat, a social auditor is an individual. Of course, they extend further saying that even a private limited company partnership also can be a social auditor, provided the partners or the people constitute, everybody are social auditors in it. So an individual also can be a social auditor, but most important, that individual should be registered with an SRO. SRO means self-regulatory organization. To begin with, the SRO is ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. They have actually formed a self-regulatory organization called as ISAO. That is called Institute of Social Auditors Organization. So this Institute of Social Auditors of India, ISAI, is the first, the SRO. And they also have mentioned that not necessary that you should register only with ISAI. You can also register with other agencies also. Recently, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India have also formed a self-regulatory organization, and Institute of Company Secretaries of India has formed a self-regulatory organization. So anybody who becomes who registers with this SRO will be a social auditor, but they have to qualify the certification program of NISM, and that certificate should be a valid certificate, because normally NISM will give a certificate which will be valid. Some of the certificates will be valid for 3 years, some certificates will be valid for 5 years. So that means this examination has to be written quite often.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Raji. You have taken us nicely through about the technical group, about the spending by the corporates, hoping sum of 1,20,000 crores during the past 5 years, and the silent amendment in ICDR, and also about the formation of this ISAA and other things. Very nicely covered about the term social auditor. Krishna Kumar, what is meant by financial audit for the benefit of some of the members who may not be professional today? I need you to explain that along with what is meant by non-financial audit, and for this financial and non-financial, who can be the auditors? Kindly explain that.
Good evening, everybody. As you rightly said, this is a very important question, and especially people who are trying to take this as a profession need to know the difference between financial audit and non-financial audit. Basically, basically this is very pertinent to this subject is concerned. So this is very pertinent to the social audit is concerned. So the social audit is divided into two parts. The regular financial audit is something which is governed by all other statutes like Companies Act or Income Tax Act, So, but this specific requirement, this distinction is given for the purpose of conducting a social audit. Basically, any social audit will contain two components. One is a financial audit and another is a non-financial audit. Basically, a non-financial audit will include the audit of social impact. Okay, so basically, what the auditor needs to do is to also audit what impact the enterprise is creating, the not for profit organization is creating, or what impact it's creating to the society. So that needs to be audited. That is the non-financial audit. Financial audit, as you all know, it is basically a audit of financial statements and transactions. It covers non-financial matters limited only to those aspects that provide additional information to stakeholders of business who are mainly interested in entities' financial status. So basically, auditing of the balance sheet, profit and loss account, and notes to accounts, etc. So that will be financial audit. Non-financial audit will be basically we audit what that social enterprise is engaged into and what impact it creates to the organization, to the public, to the stakeholders. So that will cover as non-financial audit. So who can be a social auditor? Basically, this is a very important question, and which is also relevant for the exam. So any chartered accountant who is financial auditors shall be chartered accountants holding a certificate of practice from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and they can take the responsibility of performing social audits as well. So they have to attend to this course, which is conducted by the National Institute of Securities Market (NISM). And after completion of this course exam, once you become a certified social auditor, along with a CA, they will be qualified to conduct social audits.
Okay, thank you. Nicely made the distinction and the necessity and who can be the auditor. I understand like this. The financial audit gives the number game with respect to the profit, capital, net worth, this and then blah, blah, blah. But at what social cost impact it has created is the basic objective, because profit number-wise, both companies may be same. One company may be damaging the society too much, earning 1 crore or X crore amount of profit. Another company equaling the same amount, causing lesser damage. So which one should be preferred? That's the approach, I think, which you tried. And that's the objective of the entire game itself. So thank you very much for very nicely and briefly touching upon the query posed before you. Now, you highlighted about the social auditor can be a chartered accountant, and highlighted about who could be the auditor very nicely with the certification and everything. But what is the eligibility of a social auditor in addition to this aspect of Dr. Raju?
Okay, it's actually very important. When this TG, that is the technical group, when they started their research on this, they only started with chartered accountants, but they understood that NGOs, a social audit is not only a financial audit, it is more about non-financial audit. So creating impact to the society. So understanding the non-financial parameters is very significant. So that is why, in addition to a chartered accountant with a certificate of practice who receives the course completion certificate and also passes this NISM examination and registers with the self-regulatory organization, they have also identified other individuals. Who are they? Postgraduates from any of the universities recognized by UGC, University Grants Commission, but with minimum of 3 years experience. For chartered accountant with COP, they have not put any experience criteria. But for a postgraduate from any of the UGC recognized universities, there is a necessity to have a 3 years experience in development sector. I must tell you guys that this development sector refers to, actually it refers to places like livelihood, education, women and child development, environment, sustainability, microfinance, agriculture, rural development. We can go on add these pointers with respect to development sector. So minimum of 3 years. Not only that, graduates also. Any graduates. They can be agri graduates, science graduates, BCom graduates, BA graduates, but minimum 6 years of experience in the development sector. So whatever I mentioned, they are also eligible to become a social auditor. So that means everybody can log into NISM, register themselves, pay the requisite fees, and appear for the examination, finish the examination. It's a 60 mark minimum pass mark examination, multiple choice, but with a negative mark. If you choose a wrong answer, there will be 25% negative. And not only that, cost and management accountants also are eligible, and even other professionals. They don't use, they have not given any list because this eligibility, other eligibilities are not given in anywhere, either in the SEBI ICDR, but it is very specifically given in the TG report. The technical group report is the fundamental today. And whatever the study material that is given by the NISM, okay, in this study material also, majority of the information from where they have brought this into the study material is from the technical group report only. So therefore, the idea of the technical group recommendation is, it is not only chartered accountants who are financial auditors, but also non-financial auditors who have a grip on the development sector. Please come forward and qualify this social auditors examination, so that we will have a battalion of social auditors to actually understand what is the requirement of NGOs and whether that fund that has been given to NGOs are properly utilized, and a report based on that utilization. We call that as an impact reporting, which is going to be the core function of. We speak about auditor means he will give audit report, but a social auditor will not give audit report. He will actually certify an impact report. So an impact report he will be certified.
Thank you, Dr. Raju. Very nice impact report. It's the audit report by a chartered accountant. You highlighted about that, and we have heard about BSE, NSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. Likewise, there are lots of stock exchanges dealing with the stocks in various formats. Now, there is a new terminology, KK, called Social Stock Exchange. What is it about, and why such a concept has to be introduced in India? KK.
It's a very, very important topic to cover. Actually, these social stock exchanges are already live in US and in UK. So basically, this is one another stock exchange where not-for-profit organizations or impact-creating organizations, for-profit organizations, can raise money. Basically, these organizations must be regulated. Right? So there are a lot of rules under the Income Tax Act and also under FCRA to receive foreign contributions, but this is still an unregulated market, right? So there can be a lot of companies like Section 8 companies. There could be trusts. There could be other societies, which can be not for profit. But if you see audit in terms of these enterprises, there is no strict rules or strict measures to regulate them. At the same time, these organizations also require money for their objectives, right? So any social enterprise need money to to work on their objectives, to create the impact for the social society. And there's this latest term called as the ESG also, so environment, social, and governance. So you need to do something for CSR. You need every corporate needs to contribute for CSR. Nowadays, all corporates have their own trusts, which are social enterprises. They contribute their CSR fund into that society or that trust, and that trust carries out impact activities or CSR activities. So when you are getting money from public or any corporate or any other donor, you need to have strict regulations, and you need to also at the top level, if there's going to be a real impact to the society, that needs to be regulated. So that's why we need a social stock exchange. From an Indian standpoint, yes, actually, this is defined in SEBI ICDR Regulations 2022 under Section 292A I. Social stock exchange means a separate segment of recognized stock exchange having nationwide terminals permitted to register not-for-profit organizations and or list these securities issued by not-for-profit organizations in accordance with provisions of these regulations. So basically, this is a separate stock exchange which will have terminals where you can have publicly traded instruments. So why you need this social stock exchange? Social stock exchange provides a means for social enterprises, both for profit and non-profit organizations, to raise funds through a regulated mechanism. That is very important. So we need to raise funds for their objectives, but that should be regulated. So these stock exchanges will enable them to be regulated. Funds raising through SSE, that is Social Stock Exchange, also ensures accountability, transparency, and periodic reporting of impact. Thus, in order to provide an impetus for such fundraising mechanisms and create a vibrant, deep, and liquid market for social investments, it will be paramount to provide certain tax incentives to investors making investments for various social causes. So, as I said, the CSR contributions can also be funded through the social stock exchanges. So that is primarily the main reason why do we need a social stock exchange, basically for more transparency. And it's a good way to raise money for all these not-for-profit organizations.
Okay, I understood like this: a business enterprise goes to the financial market or a stock market to mobilize finance for its business commitments. In the same way, the social organizations need money to run. There is no regulation at all. That is why there is a compulsive need for regulating these type of contributions received by the so-called enterprises, which is trying to render the study or impact or whatever it is. So it's a parallel to it can be construed as a parallel to the financial stock market, and equally more important, more awareness, more in the future. I think this social stock exchange will grow to such an extent on par. If I am not mistaken, it can go beyond that also, because such is the kind of importance. Thank you very much for your detailed analysis about that particular aspect. Now, KK mentioned about the terminology called social enterprise, and also NPO he was telling. What is this NPO and who can be the NPO? What is SE, a social enterprise?
Very good. Now, we have now understood the concept called social auditor and the need for a social auditor, and what is the way available to become qualified as a social auditor. Now, one side you have the auditor, other side there should be an organization to audit. Now, which is that audit? Which is that auditable entity? That entity we call it as social enterprise. Now, social enterprise is a very generic term. Now, under social enterprise, we have two types of social enterprise. So, one is, we can call this as NPO, that is not-for-profit enterprise. Now, what is the not-for-profit enterprise? A not-for-profit enterprise is a charitable trust, so which is registered as a trust and you get the exemption from Income Tax Act, and maybe you also get registered with the FCRA, all this. So that is a not-for-profit organization. Similarly, a charitable society registered with the Society Registration Act. Also, a Section 8 company. So a Section 8 company under the Companies Act, a trust and a society. We can call these three as a not-for-profit, we call it as NPO, not-for-profit organization. Now, social enterprise is not only not-for-profit organization. Now, I am a private limited company. Private limited company, what is the objective? Profit is the objective. Now, when tsunami came, I repeat, when tsunami came, at that time, tsunami hit the Tamil Nadu borders only, this side border, not on the west side. But from Mumbai, a Bollywood actor, he came from there to one of the Tuticorin and that particular place, all these where the tsunami was hit. So he went to that place and he contributed. From his funds, he contributed. And all over the world, people started to pour. And it is foreign contribution. Everybody said, no, how an individual can contribute. He is none other than the Bollywood star Vivek Oberoi. And then he formed an organization, and he already had one private limited company. People were sending money to the private limited company. From that, he was doing the good activities. Now, can the law stop you saying that no, you are only a profit undertaking, you should not do good, you should not do social activities? It is not so. If you want your private limited company to be called as a social enterprise, you can also call. That is why it is called as FPSC, for profit social enterprise. It is profit motive, but I need not have entire company, I need not have profit motive. So that is why if you want to be eligible social enterprise, they say 2/3, 1/3. What is 2/3, 1/3? 2/3 you do eligible activity, 1/3 you do your profit activities and take home profit for your objective. So you want to classify yourself as a social enterprise. No, I want to be only a profit company. I will only give profit share to my shareholders. Then you are not a social enterprise. You are a commercial organization. No, I will be doing commercial activities, but at the same time, I want to be called as a social enterprise. Today, I want to, because since Krishna Kumar has mentioned about ESG, financial reporting will take third rank only henceforth. The second rank goes to social reporting. First rank goes to environment reporting. If environment itself not there, where is the question of Danda? Where is the question of business? Where is the question of money making? Where is Mahalakshmi will be there? Nothing. So therefore, today government is also very much keen and focused. Are you contributing to the environment? Are you disturbing, or are you actually enabling them? So that is why even profit-making companies, you can come forward and become a social enterprise, but they have a criteria. 2/3, that is 67% they mentioned, they should do the eligible activities. And the eligible activities, there are 17 areas they have identified. Those are called as eligible activities. Maybe one or two I will just say. For example, promoting rural sports. What is rural sports? Kabaddi is a rural sport. Okay. Silambatam is a rural sport. In Tamil Nadu, Silambatam is a rural sport. So, promoting rural sport. Then even nationally recognize this sport, football. So you want to encourage, because we are not football. Everybody is only all over the world. People are only getting the cup, World Cup. Where is India there? India is only there in cricket. So we need such social enterprises. So therefore, social enterprises means NPO as well as for profit social enterprise. Also, we call it as FPSC. But the only criteria for profit social enterprise, 2/3, 1/3 criteria. That means minimum 2/3 they should do social activities.
Dr. Raju, hereafter you are telling the reporting requirement by a corporate environment may be first, and social obligations reporting, then the backseat is financial number game. That's a kind of importance that is being attached to the environment and to the society. And you are rightly touched about the NPO, non-profit, not-for-profit organization, also for-profit social enterprise, telling about the implications of 2/3 and 1/3. Now, KK, there is a terminology, the acronym called PSI, Primary of Social Intent. What is that term means, PSI?
Yes. So basically, any social enterprise will have multiple intents. In a country like India, there are a lot of social enterprises which have been incorporated for various means, right? So basically, I think everybody would be familiar with religious charitable trusts. Everybody will be, also know the political, political party is also registered as a, not-for-profit organization. So whether these guys will be also, can they also get into the social stock exchange? So we so the SEBI ICDR regulations have come out with primacy of social intent. So what you can have a social enterprise or for-profit social enterprise, but whether these guys have the relevant intent. So that intent is also defined under the SEBI ICDR regulations. So this is very important. So what is the social intent which will qualify for them to get into the social stock exchange to raise money, to be regulated, etc. So this is very important. So in order to establish the primacy of its social intent, social enterprises shall meet the following eligibility criteria. So these are the social intents, main intents which have been listed by the SEBI ICDR regulations 2022 under section 292E subclause 2. Right. So these are the following criteria. I can just read out the list. It's also available in the NISM study material, and also it is also available in the SEBI ICDR regulations. So one is social enterprises shall be indulged in at least one of the following activities. Only then these guys will qualify to get themselves listed in social security exchange, stock exchange, and also raise money. So that is very important. So basically, the first point is eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition, and inequality. Second point is promoting healthcare, including mental health care, sanitation, and making available safe drinking water. Promotion of education, employability, and livelihoods. Promoting gender equality, empowerment of women and other communities. Ensuring environmental sustainability, addressing climate change, including mitigation and adaptation, forest and wildlife conservation, protection of national heritage, art, and culture. Training to promote rural sports, nationally recognized sports, Paralympic sports, and Olympic sports. Dr. GKR also mentioned about this. Supporting incubators of social enterprises, supporting other platforms that strengthen the non-profit ecosystem in fundraising and capacity building, promoting livelihoods for rural and urban poor, including enhancing income of small and marginal farmers and workers in non-farm sector, slum area development, affordable housing, and other interventions to build sustainable and resilient cities, disaster management, including relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction activities, promotion of financial inclusion, facilitating access to land and property assets for disadvantaged communities, bridging and digital divide in internet and mobile phone access, addressing issues of misinformation and data protection, promoting welfare of migrants and displaced persons, any other area as identified by the board or the government of India from time to time. So these are totally listed. See, if you see, there are a lot of government policies attached to this. So I think any social enterprise which are having these kind of intents, with the intents means objectives, so they can go to the stock exchange, they can get themselves listed, and also enable them to raise money to fulfill these objectives. That's about it.
So, KK, you are very nicely highlighted. NPO, not all not-profit organization or NGO, which normally we used to call, they may not per se fall under the social enterprise unless the 17 listed items what you have read out. The any one of that or combination of more than one should be their objective, which is technically called social intent. Correct? Thank
Exactly.
you for highlighting about the particular nuances of what is a social enterprise and having the social intent.
Correct.
Dr. Raju, who are not eligible to be a social enterprise?
It is like stopping them. No. Very simple. Actually, political organizations are not social enterprise. Okay. And we have corporate foundations. Companies, they will have corporate foundations, but they will have because these list what Krishna Kumar Raghavan mentioned, they will not have that as an objective. So then it is an independent foundation. Corporate foundation will not have that objective. Religious organizations is not a social enterprise. But there is one question asked by Veena Rao, whether Akshaya Patra will it come under religious charitable institution? Now, I can say Sri Venkateswara Bhakta Jana Sabha or Venkateswara Bhakta Jana Trust, and then I will feed the poor. I will actually promote rural sports. The name is God's name, but what you are doing is very important. So, name is only for an identity, but what is your objective? Objective only makes it. Now, if your objective is religious activities is one thing which never any book has, even any government has dared enough to define it. All are religion only. So therefore, religious activity is something which cannot actually come under this umbrella at all, because your objective is totally different. So therefore, these 17 points what KK mentioned, Krishna Kumar mentioned, that will come under this. Professional associations, trade associations, business associations, chamber of commerce, okay, and infrastructure companies, housing companies. They may say, I'm constructing a weed, I'm constructing, so I'm doing charity. No, but there are housing companies who do the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is affordable housing. Affordable housing companies will come under social enterprise. So quite an interesting. So at the end of the day, are you giving back to the society? This is the question you should answer. Full stop. That's all.
In simple terms, if there is a contribution for the common good of the society, complying with the social intent listing, other than those organizations, whatever they do, they may not fall under the category of a social enterprise at all. Now, having discussed about what is NPO and what is the social organization or this FPSE, Krishna Kumar, what are the registration requirements for an NPO, not for a profit organization?
Yes. See, it's clearly given in section 292F1 of the ICDR. SEBI has given certain requirements, registration requirements for NPO. Okay, NPO shall mandatorily seek registration with a social stock exchange before it raises funds through a social stock exchange, provided that a not-for-profit organization may choose to register on a social stock exchange and not raise funds through it. Only if it wants to register and raise money through a social stock exchange, a registration is required. But if they want to raise money through a social stock exchange, the registration is mandatory. That is very important. Second is minimum requirements for registration for an NPO on a social stock exchange shall be specified by the board from time to time. Currently, we are, still the rules are yet to come. It's it's still on the development stage. The social stock exchange may specify the eligibility requirements for registration of an NPO in addition to the minimum requirements specified by the board. So currently, the NPO basically who can raise money through a SSE is any trust which is having the relevant social intent and also has some 3 years of experience, 3 years of since its inception, and with proper compliance and audit, and so they can definitely, with a 12A registration, if they have registered under the Income Tax Act, so they can come to the social stock exchange and raise securities for their objectives, to meet their objectives. So these are the basic things as a requirement for the NPO to be registered.
So there are certain norms and guidelines given under 292F. You have highlighted the requirements to go for a registration as an NPO.
Correct.
Now, Dr. Raju, we have heard recently, we are hearing a lot about SME listing in the stock exchange. There is a terminology called main board listing. There is another one which I want to know, an acronym, IGP listing. What is all about? What are the distinctions about these terminologies?
Actually, now only we are coming to the subject. So far, we are only defining a social auditor, social enterprise. Now only we are coming for paisa. Okay, cost, now only we are coming. Now, if you have to do good in India or anywhere in the world, you need funds, you need money. Now, what is the traditional way in which all the NGOs were supported by donations? Now, can this donation be raised to exchange? Now, generally, what is the feeling is stock exchange means what? I'll invest money in that, I'll get the return. Now, why people, every religion, they go to temple, mosque, gurudwara, church, etc. Why? They want blessings of God. Similarly, if I invest in stock exchange, I will get returns in the form of dividend. If I invest in social stock exchange, I will get duayen, I will get blessings, I will get social returns. Very important. I will get social returns. So those who want blessings, those who want the duayen, those who want the social returns, I want to be part of this mega project. Okay. Like for example, my good friend was giving a very big list, like slum area development. Let me take. So all the slums, say Dharavi in Mumbai, one of the biggest slums. I am asking them to vacate. I will construct a 10-story, 20-story building and I'll give them a 500 square feet or a 800 square feet apartment. This is slum area. Now, only should government should do this. How long will I keep my hands tied like this? Wait for government to do. Okay, we have money. We will invest through exchange, stock exchange, and then these NPO. Now, KK was referring to two things. One is NPO, not for profit organization, FPSC, that is for profit social enterprise. For profit social enterprise is a company registered under Companies Act. They are already a regulated entity by MCA and they are going on a disclosure norms. What is disclosure? NPO, they don't follow disclosure at all. From where they get money, who is donating them? Do they tell anything in their balance sheet? They don't tell. Therefore, to make them aware that you should come under disclosure norms. From where you want money? Yes. KK, Sampath Kumar and Gopal Krishna Raju put together, we will put 30 crores we will put, but we will not give direct to NPOs. We will give it to a social impact fund. We will give it to a development impact fund. We will subscribe to the ZP, zero coupon, zero principal bond. And the money will go to them. They will spend that money, please. They will invest that money in social projects. And the social impact will be presented to the investor. Oh, I'm very happy. Slum development has happened. Disaster management, I have contributed for rehabilitation of disaster. Oh, wow. For promoting livelihood of rural people, I have enabled. So, I will actually be proud of these kind of social contributions. Today, we only go and we go to temple, we put a chiller in the temple and we think good will happen. No. Here, whatever money you are donating, I will not use the word called donating, contributing. You will see the returns in your eyes. Social impact you will see. That is why main board. What is main board? Now I am a for profit, I repeat, for profit social enterprise. You can directly go for equity. People give me equity, I will use 1/3 for business, 2/3 for social activities. Very good. People should understand the investors that social return is also returns only. Today, you are spending minutes and hours in traffic. Now, what if the infrastructure is created and the traffic is reduced from 2 hours to 30 minutes? Where was 8 hours from Chennai to Coimbatore? That 8 hours time is now reduced to 5 hours and 10 minutes. Quite a substantial time has been reduced only because of infrastructure. So now you need to support incubators. We have national heritage that has to be protected. We need to promote equality, education. For all these, we need money, and either through main board or through SME. SME and main board, who can go? FPSD only can go. That is for profit social enterprise only can go. Of course, can Section 8 company, I repeat, can a Section 8 company go for equity? Yes, they can go for equity. Nobody can stop them. So now, how about the NPO? NPO have to first register. Companies need not register with the social stock exchange. The social stock exchange will be forming part of the main board also. Today, if you go to a main board, you will have a separate called social stock exchange. Under that, there will be social enterprises will be listed. So those who have already subscribed to that fund, anybody who want to exit, they will sell that fund. I will buy the fund. I will become a owner. So for that, you need a main board or SME board or IGP. What is IGP? Innovators Growth Platform. That is startup companies. For them, there is a separate platform. So any of the 3 platforms, the NPOs or the for-profit social enterprises can go for it, but it will not be listed along with Infosys. There will be a separate platform, and in that platform only you can go and subscribe to it or buy and sell. All this you can.
Dr. Raju, you highlightly very nicely touched about the main board listing and SME and also this IGP. KK, we have discussed and touched about for-profit social enterprise bits and pieces. Any particular point with respect to for-profit social enterprise that you wish to highlight?
Actually, Dr. Raju has already given us insights for for-profit social enterprise. In fact, he also spoke about how they can raise money. The previous topic covered where it will get listed, how it can be listed, etc. But one thing which is very relevant for this exam is the definition. They need to know on which provision it is covered, and they need to know who are all covered under for-profit enterprise. So basically, I also covered a topic on the social intent, and Dr. Raju also highlighted that not only not-for-profit organizations are covered for this, even for-profit social enterprises who have that social intent will be covered. So basically, that is what is defined under Section 292A, Clause C. For-profit social enterprise means a company or a body corporate operating for profit. So it can be a corporation which is incorporated under the Companies Act, which is a social enterprise. Social enterprise, again, Dr. Raju highlighted, and I also highlighted about the enterprises which have such social intent for the purpose of these regulations and does not include a company incorporated under Section 8 of the Companies Act. So basically, Section 8 is a not-for-profit company, right? So therefore, it is excluded. So all other companies registered under the Companies Act, which will be categorized as a social enterprise, will get covered as for-profit social enterprise. That's about it.
Very nice. You have touched about all the aspects in a consolidated manner. And I would like to reiterate the point about the income or the profitability amount spent, 2/3, 1/3 also. 2/3 should be spent for social intent and 1/3 for the other business purposes, whatever it is. Thank you.
Business purposes.
Yeah. And we have discussed likewise, Raju, many times NPO, not for profit organization. We have discussed and touched about enough. Is there any point like this, like this FPSC what KK highlighted, is there any supplemental point you want to add with respect to
Only
LP?
one point. For profit social enterprise, even though Section 8 company is registered under Companies Act, it will only be treated as a non-profit organization, NPO. It will not be treated as a for-profit social enterprise. So this we need to be very clear. So a Section 8 company incorporated under Companies Act is not FPSC. It is not for-profit enterprise. It is actually not for-profit enterprise. So this is one very interesting point we need to keep in mind.
So
Another, now you are all Indian companies, you are doing good to India, and now Indian rupee is now accepted by so many countries. The US dollar, where it will go, nobody knows. So even foreign companies, they want to come to India. Now Indian companies, you are doing good things. Foreign company, we also want to come and do the slum development. We also want to come and give safe drinking water, forest wildlife conservation, because this rainforest next to Brazil, okay, rainforest, because their Amazon rainforest is the biggest rainforest in the entire world. Oxygen, 60% of oxygen is generated only from Amazon rainforest. And the next biggest rainforest is in India. That is in the our seven sisters, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Assam, Tripura. Okay, so these are the places where rainforest is there maximum, and not only that, Western Ghats, so many other places rainforest is there. Kerala is there. So therefore, this conservation, especially forest conservation, is very, very critical. Forest conservation, wildlife conservation. So our foreign companies also, they want to come here. No, only 1/3 only I will do business. 2/3 I will do social activities. Then can a foreign company be treated as FPSC? Yes. For-profit social enterprises means a company and a body corporate. A body corporate, foreign company also.
that's very nicely touched about. So anybody coming under the 2/3, 1/3 category, even a foreign body corporate may participate in this particular activity to have a wholesome development of the entire country and environment and society also. Thank you very much. And Krishna Kumar, what are the major differences between fundraising between a FPSC, for-profit social enterprise, and that of non-profit, not for-profit organization?
Yes, there are huge differences because the entity structure itself is different. So basically, the main idea of getting themselves listed in a recognized stock exchange, like a social stock exchange, is to raise money. So that is very clear. So what would be the instrument which these organizations will be issuing to raise this money? So that is the key difference here. So a social enterprise, as Dr. Raju said, and also I have also enumerated that it could be an NPO, that is not for profit organization, and it can also be a for-profit social enterprise. So they can raise money in two different ideas. So as I said, not-for-profit organizations can be a Section 8 company, can be a trust, can be a society, can be in a different form, which has been registered for the purpose of relevant social intent. So these structures can raise money through issue of zero coupon, zero principal instruments from institutional investors. So there are a lot of funds, lot of social impact funds globally, which is registered and as an AIF, alternate investments funds, which is regulated by SEBI, like a private equity firm, right? So there are a lot of private equity firms which are socially, focus on social impact. So these funds will have lesser return expectations. These funds will have, only social impact as the result of the investment. So in these cases, what a non-profit organization can raise is through issuing an instrument called as issue of zero coupon, zero principal instruments, where the fund where the social enterprise need not repay the principal and need not repay any interest also. But this fund, whatever they raise through this by issuing these instruments, will reflect them by creating a social impact. So that is one kind of an instrument. Second is donation through mutual fund schemes as specified by the board of SEBI. The board is SEBI basically. Third is any other means as specified by board from time to time. So that is an extra clause which has been given. They might add some rules and regulation later. So basically, a not-for-profit organization can issue instruments which is zero coupon, zero principal instruments. Even there are a lot of social impact mutual funds where these mutual funds invest in social enterprises for impact creation, right? So, and that's about it. And the second category is Dr. GKR also enumerated the ways and means that for-profit social enterprise can raise money. So basically, for-profit enterprise is any corporation or a body corporate. So basically, they are a private company, right, which is generating profit. So one way of raising money is by issue of equity shares. Another way of raising money is raising money through alternate investment fund. Any fund can also invest, similar to NPO. They can also issue debt securities. They can raise a bond for a project. Say that a 10-year bond is required to develop some a social impact intended project. So I want to create a water treatment or water treatment plan for certain areas for providing drinking water for rural areas. So that could be a huge project where they can raise bonds by listing them in the social stock exchange, and they can also raise money similar to any other means which the board is specifying at a later point in day. So basically, all instruments are available for profit organization. Only thing which they need to concentrate is 2/3 they need to spend for social intent, and 1/3 for other business related activities. So that's about it.
Krishna Kumar, the methodology of raising resources by a for-profit social enterprise is more or less very familiar to most of us.
Very familiar. Yeah. Correct.
Like a corporate, but the condition of 2/3, 1/3 is alone the catch point. With respect to
Correct.
this NPO, I very nicely highlighted about ZC, ZP, zero coupon, zero principal, and instruments, and also contributions, and also any other mode to be permitted. Dr. Raju, what are the list of securities or mode of raising finance for NPO has been touched out as mentioned in the technical group? Any other thing has been mentioned? What has been omitted by us now?
Okay, maybe I'll just highlight. This is for a non-profit organization, NPO or not-for-profit organization, how they can raise money. For-profit social enterprise also similar model is there. Let me first explain for I am a society, I am a charitable trust incorporated 7 years, 10 years back. Now I want funds. So first thing is we need to register with the social stock exchange. Second, if you are a Section 8 company, straight away you can ask equity. Because I am anyhow a Section 8 company, equity will not be repaid. Please understand. There is no repayment of equity. Once equity is given, it is once for all, it is equity only. You can only say I am an equity holder, but money will not be returned back to you because the Section 8 company cannot be liquidated. It will only be merged with another Section 8 company. So that's it. So equity model, you can raise funds, use it for social projects. Number one. Number two, zero coupon, zero principal bond. What is the meaning? It is against my principle to pay interest, meaning I will not pay interest. And it is against my interest to pay principal. So it is not in my interest. I don't have interest at all to pay the principal. And also it is against my interest to pay the principal. So both, either principal I will not pay, interest also I will not pay. So both. So that is called zero coupon, zero principal bond. We already know what is called zero coupon bond. That means you subscribe to that bond, no interest will be given, but at the end of the period, it will be factored as though you get back. So that means 100 rupee bond will be issued at 40 rupees, you will get back 100.
100.
So that is zero coupon bond. But what is zero coupon, zero principal? 100 rupees you give. You give, only you give, that's all. But what is the return? Please understand, everybody, we are being so materialistic. The return means money only is return, which is not the only thing. Today, father, mother has given birth to us. They spend money on us. Remember, they spend money on us, they give education. What we are giving back to them? This is zero coupon, zero principle only. What we are giving, we are not giving, but we are creating impact. We are molded as a human being. We have the ethics, we have the ethos, the integrity. So we become a social human being. Our next generation, our progeny, our parents are proud of our progeny. That is social impact, and it is there in our Indian culture. It is only knocked now and brought in a terminology called like this. So zero coupon, zero principle bond, social impact fund. What is social impact fund? We have venture capital funds. Now venture capital means what? I want to start a company, I need money. So I'll go to venture capitalist, give me money, give me money. He will see whether your project is very good, whether it will get returns or not. Now here, social venture fund will get the money from various philanthropists. Sudha Murthy, okay, like Neeta Ambani, Neeta Mukesh Ambani. So from various people, the social venture fund will get the money. And they will identify the NGOs and they will fund them. But remember, this can be only done through exchange. It cannot be done privately. So fund will come and only through exchange only the fund will go. What is development impact fund? There is development impact fund. What is development impact fund? There will be a pre-agreed metrics. The climate of Chennai is very hot. So 3,000 trees will be planted across 20 areas. The top 20 areas. 6,17,000 T Nagar, 6,18,000 Alwarpet, 6,00,000 we have in the 6,05,000 Mailapur. Okay, so 6,14,000 Triplicane. Sorry, Rayapeta. So I identified 20 pin code. In the 20 pin code, 50,000 shady trees will be planted, and the pre-agreed metrics. There will be an outcome funder. See, 5 years like, if you plant 50,000 trees and you bring down the climate of this top 20 areas by at least 2 degrees, then I am funding 200 crores. Agreement today itself. But he will not fund it today. So based on that, there will be a risk funder. He will come and he will give money to all the NGOs. Nipo, Marangarala, you do all plant these trees and develop the trees. And then measure the impact. Please understand. The pre-agreed metric should come 2 degrees, whether it has come down. Done. Then I will go to the outcome funder. See, 50,000 trees, count number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Degree has come down, now you give me the money. And also he will give, very good boy, you have done this. We will also give you some return on investment. That is given only to the risk funder, not to NGO. But for NGO, fund will be given by the risk funder. So this is called development impact fund. So development impact fund, mutual fund, social impact fund, zero coupon, zero principal bonds, equity. These are all the models available for the not-for-profit organizations.
Very nicely touched as per the technical group. I think we have discussed very detailed fashion with respect to the mode of and facilities available for rising finance for NPO. Krishna Kumar, we equally touched about for-profit enterprise also, certain modes of rising. As per the technical group study, anything we have omitted to discuss in the earlier portion of the discussion?
Actually, sir, we have already touched upon the various modes of raising the money for for-profit enterprises in detail, actually.
Yeah.
So I think that's more or less covered.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Raju, you have said the impact. There is a terminology, annual impact report, like a financial report. What is it about with respect to this particular discussion? What we are working? Annual impact report, Dr. Raju.
Okay. Actually, this audit report of financial statements are certified by a chartered accountant. The social audit report will be certified by the social auditor. especially when you get the funds from a social stock exchange. Social auditor has to certify this is what the SEBI ICDR regulation mandates. Now, your social audit report will have one more, one of the report we call it as impact report. Now, what is this impact? This impact will have the non-financial metrics. So, non-financial metrics is, example, I was giving about this forest conservation, wildlife conservation. Wildlife conservation, I have funded 50 crores. Okay, so which wildlife? What was the population before? What was the population after? What was the health before? What is the health after? What is the ecosystem you have created? So, what is the benefit it has given to the ecosystem? So, all this have to be measured. The real difficulty in measuring is everything cannot be measured in money terms. You have to measure it in some factors, percentages. So in some climate, degree, so health, so many parameters you have to identify, and especially social stock exchange, this impact reporting, there are a lot of norms are there. So based on these norms, this social annual impact report will be assessed, and it will be forming part of the reporting system. And as a social auditor, it will be my endeavor to go through the original agreement, what is the original requirement for the impact that has been created, before what was the impact, post implementation what is the impact, whether it has achieved the objective, to what percentage it has achieved. So another what we call Tamil, we used to say, we will bring matram, we will bring change, whether that matram and change has come. So that is what this impact report is all about. And it requires a lot of deliberations, step by step, lot of deliberations. But this within 1 hour, whatever we have covered, I'm sure we have done justice to give inputs to the primer with respect to the social auditor certification examination. Any other questions? Maybe last question, if it is there, welcome.
One brief differentiator is one particular terminology. Can you throw some light, KK or Raju? Differentiator that is mentioned.
So, see, this is actually this is a very important topic. Actually, there could be a lot of NPOs and for-profit enterprises with same social intent. So, what would be the differentiator of both? So, where would you put your money? Where would you invest? So, what are the areas one should look to differentiate and invest in such FPE or NPO? So basically, there are several parameters which has been defined. What needs to be looked into. So basically, it's to see any corporation or any trust or any not-for-profit organization, you would first see their vision, their historical data, their strategy, their governance in place, whether they have a proper board. I think you are all aware of this Kaveri calling, right? So it's Sadhguru, right? So he has a proper board of governance who monitors the fund inflow and also the outflow of the fund. So your money should entirely go to the social impact or the social intent. So in such a way that your report card reflects, right? So and also you should also have a look into the management of the both organizations and their operation, historical operations, how they manage their finance, compliance, whether they are paying any penalties, they have not been, whether they are complying with all laws required, their credibility, if there is some rating, if there is some registrations which they need to do, like the income tax registration, and also they also prepare a social impact report card, right? So that can be a benchmark data which you need to differentiate two funds or two FPE and NPO which has similar social intent, where to go, and also the risks associated with it. So these parameters one should look at where multiple organizations have same social intent in order to make a decision to invest in securities issued by them. So that is the main concept of differentiator.
So there is no financial benefit or return on investment like to identify and understand before investing and contributing which of the social intent enterprise I should do that. The parameters are evaluated and grading or comparability has to be done. That is the differentiator principles or pointers. Based on that,
Correct.
that provokes me to contribute if I am an investor. Correct?
That's right.
Thank you, KK. Thank you very much. Is there any questions? We have gone.
Yeah,
beyond
there
the
are some
schedule.
few questions. Let us take that. What is the total cost involved for getting qualification in social auditor certification exam? Only the examination fee along with GST 1,717. How to pass this exam? What to study? Is NISM study material sufficient? Yes, study material is sufficient. Deepak has asked this question.
More than
But of
sufficient.
course, that alone may not be sufficient. There will be a lot of terminologies you need to have a grip on. Of course, if you have been working with NPOs, those terminologies will be comfortable. Otherwise, you need to go through certain course to actually understand that. Can you provide the full details of the course material, coaching, preparation, Swarupa? Okay, so we are going to come up with an exclusive fast track session on this. The Agmark fast track session 8:30 to morning 9:30 session will be announcing very soon. Whether the Social Security Exchange already came into existence, I don't understand what the question is. Lucas Joseph, can a Section 8 company raise funds through debentures such as the NCD? No. Ramachandran, TM Ramachandran, you are confusing with a for-profit entity and a not-for-profit entity. So, what is the purpose of this NCD? You want to raise this fund for what purpose? So that is most relevant here. You want to raise this fund and you want to return it back. So actually, you can do so. Nothing wrong in it, but the question whether it is relevant for a social cause is the question here. How to prepare for NISM exam? So you have to register for this exam, get the study material, prepare at least 15 days minimum to 1 month, and I'm sure you can clear the examination, provided all these terminologies, concepts are clear to you. What is the qualification for exam pattern in the exam and other qualification? Already we have discussed about it. And how much is the current pass percentage? We have already discussed that part. So I had a doubt about passing the social audit exam. How can I get the social audit? Means to reach the NGO since I'm new into practice. Can you please help how to make social audit claims after passing exam? Automatically they'll come to you. Please put a board outside your home office that what is your name? Ayush Agarwal, social auditor. People will come to you. Okay, so don't worry about it. I am CA in practice from 13 years. I'm eligible for NISM exam. Yes, absolutely. What are the professional opportunities for CA, CS, CMA specifically? Now, is this question exclusively for social auditor examination? Yes, a lot of scope is there. But see, Venugopal, what is your qualification? You have not mentioned. Then Arushi Mittal, sir, can you please confirm if any experience is required for chartered accountant? Because as they read on ICA website and other places, 6-year experience seems to be needed. Why you are going to ICA website? I don't know. Please go to NISM website. Okay. So, and also please do tell the process to register SRO after completing NISM exam. There is an application form, online form. Please download it. It's PDF only. Please fill it up and send it. There is no fees for it. It is free. Only examination fee only is there. Fill it up. Write the examination. Read and then go. Otherwise, you will not cross the Lakshman Rekha 60%. As far as registering with SRO, as of today, it is free. Okay, good. So thank you very much and have a great Sunday evening. And thank you very much, one and all, for joining for today's session. And special thanks to Sambat Kumarji for steering this program, and also Krishna Kumar Raghavan for joining us. And despite a very heavy schedule for both of them, they have joined us, and also all the participants, despite your Sunday schedule, you have joined with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raju, and thank you.